Welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast, the place for smart, simple strategies that will amplify your business results. Sharing practical tips, insider knowledge, and actionable advice because marketing is something that every business owner can do. Now, let's get started. Introducing your host, Bianca McKenzie, mum, lover of snow sports, camping, horse riding, and in-demand launch strategist and Facebook advertising knowledge bank.
Hey, welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast. I'm Bianca McKenzie, and this is the place where we break down marketing strategies that actually work without the overwhelm. Before we dive into this episode, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land I live and work on, the Palawa people of Lutruwita. I pay my respects to elders past and present and acknowledge the deep connection they have to this land, culture, and community. Now let's dive in and make marketing work for you. If you've ever started strong with your marketing only to burn out by week 3, or if you're exhausted from trying to keep up with, daily posting while actually running your business, or if you feel like you're either all in or completely checked out with no middle ground, then this episode is going to change how you approach consistency. Today, we're talking about how to show up consistently with your marketing without burning out in the process. Because here's the thing, consistency doesn't mean posting every single day or being online 24/7. It means showing up regularly in a way that is sustainable for your actual life. And if your marketing routine is burning you out, it's not working, no matter how consistent you are. Let's start by acknowledging what most people think consistency means, because the misconception is what leads to burnout. So what most people think consistency means is posting every single day, being available 24/7, never missing a day, keeping up with everyone else's pace, and sacrificing everything else to maintain your posting schedule. But here's what consistency actually means. It means showing up regularly on a schedule that you can maintain. It's about being reliable. It's not about being omnipresent. It means posting 2 to 3 times a week if that's what you can sustain. And it's also about going at your own pace, not matching someone else's. It's about integrating marketing into your life and not sacrificing your life for marketing. That difference really matters. One is going to lead to burnout. The other one is going to lead to sustainable growth. It's no wonder most of us have this aversion to marketing, right? Now, before we talk about solutions, let's look at why your current approach is unsustainable. Firstly, reason number 1 is that you're setting an unrealistic standard. You probably decided to post daily because, some guru said that it works. But you have a full client load, you have a family, you have a life. Somewhere in that, you've got to look after yourself. Daily posting isn't realistic for you. But you committed to it anyway. And you're probably hating it, right? So now you're either forcing yourself to maintain an impossible pace, or you're feeling guilty for falling short. Reason number 2 is that you're creating everything from scratch. Every post starts with a blank page. Every caption is written fresh. Every graphic is designed from nothing. And this makes each piece of content take 3 times longer. If you are constantly opening up a new Canva, doc, a new blank page, or a new ChatGPT chat, it's going to take longer. Reason number 3 is that you're doing it all in leftover time. And this is very common. You're fitting your marketing into whatever scraps of time are left after client work, after admin, life, all that. So it usually means late nights when you're exhausted, or weekends when you should be resting. You're like, oh, I haven't posted. I better do it now. And like literally leftovers. Marketing done in leftover time with leftover energy is going to produce leftover results, and it's going to guarantee burnout. Reason number 4 is that you have no boundaries. So you're probably constantly checking comments, responding to DMs at all hours, engaging whenever you have like a spare moment. You never really switch off, and that means you're always drained. And reason number 5 is you're doing too many things. Posting on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. You're trying to grow a YouTube channel, maybe starting a podcast, blogging, you're sending emails, you're doing webinars. No wonder you're exhausted. You're doing the work of a full marketing team by yourself in leftover time. So I'm going to tell you about my kind of formula for showing up consistently without burning out. So firstly, and this is all going into the mix, right? Realistic frequency. You add strategic simplicity. You add protected time. You add actual rest and outcomes, sustainable consistency. So let's break down each element. The first one is realistic frequency. You need to choose a posting frequency that you can maintain during your busiest, most stressful month, not just when you're motivated and have extra time. So if you can only reliably create content twice a week when life is chaotic, then twice a week is your frequency. Not daily, not 5 times a week, 2 times a week. The test should be to be able to maintain this pace for 12 months straight, even during busy seasons, even during holidays, even during hard weeks, like all the time. If you cannot maintain that for 12 months straight, you've set the bar too high. It's better to post twice a week for a whole year than daily for 3 weeks and then disappear for 5 weeks. Okay? Element number 2, strategic simplicity. Make content creation as simple as possible by building systems and using templates. So I want you to create buckets, content buckets. Literally, picture buckets or some kind of vessel. So instead of brainstorming topics from scratch, rotate through 4 to 5 themes. And this works really well if you are leveraging AI, ChatGPT, Claude, whichever one you want to use, because you can train the GPT on your content buckets. So some example buckets. Educational, so you teach something valuable. Behind the scenes, where you like show your process. Client wins, which is, social proof, case studies, testimonials, that kind of thing. Your methodology, where you showcase your approach. Connection, so really, creating personal stories or relatability. And then use templates. So if you're constantly opening a new Canva doc, I want you to stick with the same one and create 3 to 5 design templates that you reuse constantly. Every post doesn't need to be unique. Consistent branding with simple templates is actually better. If you look at my Instagram account, you can probably see the pattern of my templates. And then batch your content. Set aside 2 to 4 hours twice a month to actually create multiple pieces at once. It's faster and it's easier than creating daily content. And then another thing I want to add is to repurpose. The wheel doesn't need to be reinvented all the time. One piece of long form content can become 5 social posts. It can become an email, maybe some quote graphics. I want you to work smarter, not harder. Element number 3, protected time. You need to start scheduling your marketing time like you schedule client meetings. No more, leftover time. You need to protect this time. None of that, oh, that was my marketing time. Oh, but I'll just squeeze in a client meeting. Because again, you're back on leftover time. So weekly time blocks. Do some content batching, 3 to 4 hours each month. Daily engagement, 20 to 30 minutes. And literally set yourself a timer. Respond to as many things as you can, then you move on. Email writing, so 1 hour a week, do your email. And then every month, sit down for about half an hour, look at all your metrics. Put these times in your calendar because they're non-negotiable business activities, not, leftover when you have time kind of activities. And really, another thing is do marketing when your brain is fresh, not when you're exhausted. If you're most creative in the morning, batch your content then, not, at 10 p.m. when you're brain dead. I record all of my podcast episodes in the morning because it's when I'm freshest. I do my most important client work in the mornings too, because that's when I need to use my brain. I can do editing of my podcast in the afternoon, but the recording happens in the morning. So really, do it when your brain is fresh. Element number 4, actual rest. And this is going to sound counterintuitive because, this episode is all about consistency, but rest is what makes consistency sustainable. So take your weekends off. Or if you work weekends, take 2 full days off somewhere else in the week. Take actual holidays. Schedule your content in advance. Or maybe just accept that, you'll post less that week. The world is not going to end. I have a friend who does this really, really well. She completely blocks out school holidays and she pre-schedules some content, but she is completely open with her clients to say, hey, and she teaches this as well. I have built my life to live my life and to be with my children. I won't be around for a little bit. So do that. Don't check your phone first thing in the morning or last thing at night. I know, it's your life, you do what you want kind of thing, but really, in terms of business, you need to create some boundaries around your availability. It's really going to help you. And also add in slow seasons. It's okay to do less marketing in December if that month is chaotic for you. I know it's for me. And I don't sell an e-com product, so, I just kind of slow down a little bit. Sustainable consistency, it has rhythm and seasons. It's not like, constant going, same. Rest isn't the enemy of consistency. It's actually what makes consistency possible in the long term. All right, let's talk about the minimum amount of marketing that can actually work, because I think that you're doing more than necessary. I know, crazy, right? This is coming from a marketer. Okay, the minimum effective marketing routine. Firstly, content creation. 2 to 3 posts per week on one platform. Just one. Then you need to make sure that you schedule some time in for engagement. So, about 20 minutes a day. Just respond to comments on other people's posts, like building those relationships. Then email. So 1 email per week. It can be short and simple, but I really want you to write 1 email a week. I get a lot of resistance from clients to kind of go, I don't want to spam my people. So let me ask you this. Are you running a business or are you running a fan club? People sign up to your email list to hear from you. And the more they hear from you, the more they build that trust and connection. Whereas if you only email them once a month or once in a blue moon, they kind of go, who was this? Who is this? What did I sign up for? Did I sign up for this? The more consistent you are, the more they come to expect your email and actually remember that they signed up for it and that they want it. And then every month, you need to sit down and look at what is and what isn't working. Are people opening your emails? Are people engaging with your posts? All of that kind of thing. That is it. Literally, about 5 to 7 hours total per week. It doesn't need to be more than that. And this minimum effective dose can really grow your business if it's strategic and consistent. So compare that to what you're probably trying to do. You're probably trying to post, daily on 3 platforms, create long form video content, write detailed blog posts, send multiple emails, engage daily. One approach is sustainable. The other one guarantees burnout. Really start with the minimum effective dose. And the whole thing here is consistency. You might be going, oh, I do that, but do you do it consistently? Or do you disappear for a few weeks because, business has taken over or life has taken over and, it's on the back burner? So start with the minimum effective dose. You can always add more later if you want and if you have the capacity. But you can't sustain more than what you have capacity for. So how do we do this? Well, here's how to actually build a marketing routine that you can maintain. At least I hope so. So the first step is to audit your current capacity. And I want you to answer this honestly. How many hours per week can you actually dedicate to marketing without sacrificing client work, without sacrificing family time or sleep? Because you are probably making that sacrifice somewhere, right? Not how many hours do you think you should have, but how many hours do you actually have? So do that audit. Step number 2 is to choose your core activities. So based on your available hours, what are you going to commit to? So if you have 5 hours a week, you might want to do, 2 weekly posts, some daily engagement, a weekly email. If you have 3 hours a week, you might want to do 2 weekly posts, daily engagement, and no email. If you have 7 hours a week, you might want to post 3 times, do some daily engagement and a weekly email and maybe another activity. I know that you probably only want to spend 3 hours a week, but realistically, what are you going to do? And also what's going to have the most impact? I personally think that email should always be part of it, but you got to make your choices, right? All right, step number 3 is to build systems around those activities. So create templates, create batching processes and workflows that are going to make your chosen activities as easy as possible. I actually have an online course, a really short course that teaches you how to create social media content in under an hour using AI. And it's not just your captions, but also how to set up your Canva templates. So I'll link to that at the end of this episode in the show notes. So document your process. So, every other Monday from 9 to 11, you're going to batch post 6 posts using templates and schedule it for the next 2 weeks. Right? You only have to do this every 2 weeks. Step number 4, protect the time. So block it into your calendar. Tell people this time is unavailable and treat it like client work. I never book anything into my calendar on Mondays, or very, very rarely, because that is my sacred time. That is when I focus on this kind of stuff. Then step number 5 is to track your energy, not just your output, but also your energy. So after a month of doing all this, ask yourself, is this pace sustainable? Am I energized or am I drained? And what do I need to adjust? Your feelings matter. If you dread your marketing time, something needs to change, even if you're technically being consistent. But if that's the worst part of your week, something needs to change. So here are some questions to ask yourself every month to make sure that your approach stays sustainable. So check in with yourself. Ask yourself, am I looking forward to creating content or am I dreading it? And if you're dreading it, something needs to change. Also, can I maintain this pace indefinitely? If not, you need to simplify or you need to reduce the frequency. Ask yourself, am I sleeping enough and am I taking days off? And if not, you're doing too much. Is my marketing time protected, or is it constantly interrupted? If your marketing time is interrupted, you need better boundaries. And I'm going to hazard a guess that most of the time, those interruptions come from you. It could be, by moving it and opening that slot up for a client because they ask for that time. Or it could be if you work from home, I'm just going to put the washing on, that kind of thing. So better boundaries. Ask yourself, am I seeing results that make the effort feel worthwhile? And this one is a tricky one because you actually need to look at your data and to see if it actually is doing something. And if not, you might need to adjust your strategy, not just increase your effort. It's not always about volume. It's also about the quality. Ask yourself, do I feel energized or do I feel drained after engaging with my audience? If you feel drained, you might need better boundaries or a different platform. Because some of the platforms really have that effect. So if you answered this and your answers reveal unsustainability, you need to adjust before you burn out. Now let's look at what to do when you fall off, because you will. Everyone does. Life happens, busy seasons hit, motivation goes away. So when you've fallen off the consistency bandwagon, what do? Well, firstly, don't wait for Monday or next month to restart. Start again immediately, even if it's Wednesday. Secondly, don't try to catch up. You don't need to post 6 times this week because you missed last week. Just continue your normal schedule. Just like nothing happened. Also, don't beat yourself up. Guilt is not going to help you one bit. Just acknowledge what happened and begin again. It is okay. Also, kind of look at whether your standard is too high. If you keep falling off, your expectations might be unrealistic for your actual life. And also communicate with your audience if needed. If you just posting, I'm taking a break this week, I'll be back on Monday, that's fine. People understand. They have lives too. The difference between people who maintain consistency long term and to those who don't isn't that the consistent people never fall off. It's just that they restart quickly without shame. They just get back on it. Now, your marketing routine should flex with your life seasons. It shouldn't be like a rigid kind of thing that doesn't change. So during a launch or during busy seasons, you can reduce your posting frequency, or you might increase it if it's part of your launch. You might rely more on, heavily on scheduled content rather than organic post in a moment content. You can cut your engagement time if that's, what you need. It's okay to do less when you're focused on delivery. Maybe during slow business seasons, it might be when you post more or when you try new content types and are really engaging heavily. Use the capacity that you have. During life challenges, people get sick, family crises happen, marketing might drop to literally a bare minimum, or it might just pause. And that's appropriate. Your business will survive a few weeks of, reduced marketing. That's okay. During high energy seasons, when you're feeling super motivated and have capacity, you might want to batch extra content to carry you through the lower energy seasons. This is the great thing about digital marketing now. You can schedule it. You can, batch create and then just drip it out over a period of time. The goal isn't, same all year round. It's appropriate responsiveness to your actual life while maintaining general reliability. I think part of why people burn out is that they're waiting for permission to do less. Isn't that interesting? They're waiting for permission to do less. So here it is. You have permission to post twice a week instead of daily. You have permission to take weekends off completely. You have permission to use simple templates instead of, creating custom marketing graphics every time. Simple templates and consistency actually works better than like flashy brand new things and that have no real kind of brand connection. You have permission to batch content. You have permission to focus on one platform instead of being everywhere. You also have permission to take a week off when you need it. Take a week off. Schedule your content, batch your content, do that, or just take a week off. You have permission to prioritize rest and sustainability. And also you have permission to stop comparing your routine to people with different life circumstances. This one is always a hard one for me when I look at other people's contents. Especially younger content creators. I'm like, oh. Anyway, stop comparing your routine to people with different life circumstances. Also, you have permission to build a marketing practice that fits your actual life. Because otherwise, what's the point? Sustainable consistency beats intensive burnout cycles every single time. And it will happen. You will fall off. You may burn out. But this is where you start again. So there you have it, how to show up consistently with your marketing without burning out in the process. The key takeaway for this episode is that consistency means showing up regularly in a sustainable way, not sacrificing everything to maintain an unsustainable pace. So what I want you to do, I want you to audit your current marketing routine honestly and ask yourself, can I maintain this pace for 12 months straight? If the answer is no, I want you to identify what needs to change to make it sustainable. And maybe it's reducing posting frequency. Maybe it's batching instead of daily creation. Maybe it's just choosing one platform instead of 3. Whatever it is, make the change now before burnout is going to make that decision for you. And if you want help building a sustainable marketing system with templates, batching processes, support, it's exactly what I do in the Marketing Momentum membership. You can find out more in the link in the show notes. And if this episode helped you realize that you've been pushing too hard, would you please leave me a review and send me a screenshot? If you send me a screenshot of your review, I'll send you my Marketing Momentum playbook for free. Just send your screenshot to hello@biancamckenzie.com or DM me on Instagram at Bianca_McKenzie. You'll find all those links in the show notes. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Sustainable marketing requires protecting your energy and not depleting it. So build a routine that you can maintain, not one that maintains you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the New School of Marketing podcast. Remember, consistency is a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself accordingly. I'm Bianca McKenzie, and I'll catch you next week. Until then, keep making marketing work for you.